Welcome back, everyone. I apologize for missing last week. I had a migraine for well over a week, and I'm still not fully recovered. Our case today gives a bouquet of emotions from sadness to anger to possible rage, and there's even some corruption in there. This one has a little bit of something for everyone. Warning: the following case depicts acts of sexual abuse of children as well as murder. Listener discretion is advised. In 1924, 19-year-old Gordon Northcott moved from British Columbia, Canada, with his father, mother, and nephew. He asked his father to buy some land for him to build a small house and a chicken ranch on. His 11-year-old nephew, Sanford Clark, helped build the house and the coop. Soon after, Gordon began to abuse Sanford, both physically and sexually. On March 10, 1928, 9-year-old Walter Collins was abducted after heading to a movie theater. Originally, his mother Christine and the LAPD believed he had been abducted by enemies of his father. His father was serving a sentence at Folsom State Prison after being convicted of 8 armed robberies. The boy's disappearance garnered national attention, and because of that, it also caused a lot of scrutiny of the LAPD. 5 months after Walter went missing, a young boy in Illinois claimed to be him. Christine Collins paid for the child to be brought to California to meet her. And so LAPD organized a public reunion, mainly to make themselves look better. As soon as Christine saw the boy, she knew he was not her child, and even went to Captain J.J. Jones to tell him her concerns. Now, Captain Jones was not about to let this woman ruin the possibility of good publicity for his department, so he told her, and I quote, "Take the boy home and try him out for a couple weeks." Seriously. That's what he told her. Can you imagine being told that? The gall that it would take to tell a woman to just take a random child home and try him out for a couple weeks. If he's not hers, he belongs to somebody. So we move on to 3 weeks later. Christine returns to speak with Captain Jones and shows him proof that this boy is not her son Walter. She even brought dental records to prove her point. Do you want to know what his response is? Because I'm going to tell you what his response was. His response was to have this poor woman committed to the psych ward under a Code 12, which I don't know about now, but at that time was a way to have someone jailed for being difficult, or inconvenient. That's their words, not mine. So she's in the psych ward. She's incarcerated. And Jones is questioning this boy. And he finds out this child is not even 9 years old. He is 12-year-old Arthur Hutchins Jr. He's a runaway from Iowa. He was looking for an easy ride to California so he could meet his favorite actor, Tom Mix. Yeah. Christine was released 10 days later and promptly filed a lawsuit against Jones and the LAPD, which she won on September 13, 1930. She was awarded $10,800, which amounted to $182,000 in 2023. She never received payment. On May 16, 1928, 12-year-old Louis Winslow and his brother, 10-year-old Nelson Winslow, disappeared after leaving a yacht club meeting in Pomona. Sanford Clark had sent correspondence to Canada to his older sister Jessie, who was 19 at the time. Jessie decided to come to California and visit her family. While she was there, Sanford told her about how Gordon had abducted and killed 4 boys right there at the ranch. Jessie finished out her trip, and upon arriving back in Canada, she went to the American consulate and gave a written statement of everything her brother had told her. The consulate was then able to contact the LAPD. On August 31st, 1928, immigration inspectors Judson F. Shaw and George W. Scalorn visited the ranch. When Gordon saw them coming, he told Sanford to stall them, and he ran for the tree line. Now he told poor Sanford that if he didn't distract them, that he would shoot him with a rifle from the tree line. Poor Sanford stalled them for 2 hours until he felt like he was safe enough to tell them everything. Gordon Northcott and his mother, Sarah Louise Northcott, were arrested in Vernon, British Columbia, Canada on September 19, 1928. Sanford testified at Sarah's sentencing, stating that Gordon had kidnapped, molested, beaten, and killed 3 young boys with his help and with his mother Sarah's. He also testified that a 4th person was killed. This person was a young Mexican citizen who was found decapitated. Gordon forced Sanford to burn the head and then crush the remaining bones. Gordon Northcott later admitted that quicklime was used to help dispose of all the bodies. Sanford also provided authorities with the locations of 3 shallow graves at the ranch. Unfortunately, those graves only contained a few body parts. According to Jessie and Sanford, Gordon and Sarah exhumed the bodies on the night of August the 4th, 1928. They took the bodies to a deserted area, and it's presumed that they burned them. To this day, complete bodies have never been found. What was found was 51 parts of human anatomy, plus blood and bones. While awaiting extradition in Canada, Sarah confessed to all the murders, including that of 9-year-old Walter Collins. Before she was extradited, she retracted her confession. Gordon also retracted his confession. He originally confessed to kidnapping and murdering more than 5 boys. After the extradition, Sarah confessed and pleaded guilty to killing Walter Collins. Because she pled guilty, there was no trial, but there was a sentencing hearing. She was sentenced to life in prison. Now, I'm not upset because she was given life in prison, and I'll explain that in a minute. What I am upset over is the reason she was given life in prison. She was given life in prison simply because she was a woman. That's it. I understand it was the 1920s, but that just does not seem right. So anyway, during her sentencing, she made claims that her son Gordon was innocent, that he was the son of an English nobleman, she was his grandmother, and that he was the result of an incestuous relationship between her husband and her daughter. She also made the claim that he was sexually assaulted by the entire family. After her sentencing, she attempted to commit suicide and begged for Gordon's life. After finding out that her son would be hanged, she begged authorities to hang her as well. She was paroled in 1940 and died in 1944. To me, that is kind of a poetic justice, because she had to live knowing she could not save her child. And after what she and her son did to those boys and their families, I feel like this was the appropriate situation for her to be in. She had to, as a mother, live the rest of her life knowing there was nothing she could do to help her child, just like those mothers with their children. The state did not prosecute Gordon for the murder of Walter Collins because his mother had already been tried for it. They also could not provide enough evidence to support the claim that Gordon had killed over 20 boys. So instead, the state tried him on the 3 murders they knew they had him on. Those 3 murders were the Headless Mexican and the Winslow boys. Gordon's trial began in early 1929 before Judge George R. Freeman. The trial lasted 27 days and ended on February 8, 1929, with Gordon being found guilty of all 3 murders. His sentencing was held on February 13, 1929, and he was sentenced to death by hanging. On October 2, 1930, Gordon Stewart Northcott was hanged at San Quentin Prison. He was 23 years old. On November 1, 1930, the city of Wineville changed its name to Mira Loma due to all the negative publicity the murders brought. In 2010 and 2011, new cities Eastvale and Jurupa Valley took over different areas of Mira Loma. Sanford Clark returned to Saskatoon, Canada, where he died on June 20th, 1991, at the age of 78. That concludes California's first serial killer. Do you guys think that they killed more? I do. I just think that they weren't able to find them because they used the quicklime, and I honestly don't think that they searched past those 3 graves. I really had to dig for this case because if you type in California's first serial killer, then you get the Golden Gate Killer and Zodiac and the Black Dahlia and things like that. You don't get this. But I knew there had to be something. There had to be something before this. Because there was the gold rush and the Wild West, and I'm sure there's even more than what I do find on these first serial killers. But I can only go off of what I can find documented. I can sit here and probably make up a great story for you if you want, but it wouldn't be the same. I hope you guys all enjoyed this case, and I look forward to bringing you the next one on Sunday. Until then, stay true and whatnot. Bye, guys.